so let's get to our demo now. Okay, so I'm working with my colors here for my rose, and I have chosen, I'm working with my double loader, and I have chosen some pretty colors. I've got Juneberry, Pink Melon, and Wicker White. Okay. All right, so I've got a 3/4 flat, and I'm going to load it with my light and dark colors. So what I have here, I'm going to split my colors, 1/3 of the light color and 2/3 of the dark color. So I'm going to, oops, a little further over, there we go. I'm going to pick up 1/3 of the Pink Melon and 2/3 of the Juneberry. I got a little rambunctious with pushing down on my brush right there, got it up into my ferrule, and I don't want that there, so I'm going to wipe that off. All right, now I'm going to come over into a clean runway, and we're going to load back and forth. So we push really hard when we're loading. Okay, get a little more of that Pink Melon and work that in. So I'm working the colors into my brush, 2/3 up the bristles of the brush, as you can see here. And then I'm going to come over here and side stroke some white. All right. And I'm going to bring that back over here and work that in. I want to lighten up that Pink Melon just a touch. Okay, a little more of the Pink Melon, a little more of the white. Work that together. And the reason I'm doing that is I want this pink to be just a little bit brighter. I wanted to use white, but because I'm on a white background, I wanted you to be able to see that edge. Okay. All right, so get some medium in my brush. I'm on paper, I want medium. And I'm going to work that in. All right, so we are ready to start stroking here. So first thing I want to share with you is this is all about the center of the rose. And so I'm going to make an assumption that you know how to do the skirt. Okay, but I'm going to share with you the petals for the skirt. You know what, I think I've got time. I can probably do the whole thing. All right, so we're going to create a shell, an outer shell skirt of the rose. All right, so I'm going to make sure, oops, that's going to be way too big. I'm going to come in here, okay, and leave a hole. So we're going to come around, come on, I'm not thinking tonight. And we're going to wiggle and stand up. Okay, and we're going to come in, overlap the first one with the second stroke, and stand up. Okay, always making sure that your handle is straight up and down. And I know many of you have seen the rose stroked many, many times by Donna and others, but I'm going to be focusing on the center. So I want to have that whole color in there so you can see what is necessary for those strokes to show up correctly. And that is, you need the dark to see the light. There we go. All right, so coming around, I'm leaving a hole in the middle about the size of 1/4 so that I have enough space for my second skirt. Okay, so there's the first skirt coming around with those strokes. Okay. So now I want to do my second skirt, but before I do that, I need to decide in which direction my rose is pointing or facing. And so I'm going to have, in this particular instance, I'm going to have my center bud facing up and to the right. So in the upper right-hand corner of my rose. What kind of paper are you using in your art journal? You guys are so funny. You ask me every week. There's no magic paper. This is, and I'm sorry, Imani, I'm not picking on you. It's just we get that question all the time on Donna's YouTube channel and here too. This is just a regular acrylic painting paper from an acrylic painting pad. Strathmore is what Donna uses. That works really well. Any of those are fine. It's really not the paper that makes things stick well. It's you've got to have medium in your brush and enough paint in your bristles. Okay, so here we're going to do that back of the bud stroke right there, up and over. And then I'm going to come from that left side, same spot. I'm going to come in up and over, down and over, excuse me, to do the front. Trying to create this center as a round center. okay? And you're seeing the depth, the darkness on the inside. All right, so notice where I place those lines, right? That's where I'm going to start my second skirt, which is going to start right up against the sides of the inner bud, okay? So when I do that, I need to make sure that I'm showing enough of this darker color from behind. That's why we loaded 2/3 and not, or excuse me, 1/3 of the pink and not more. Okay, so I'm pivoting around the center. See that right there? Going right over the face of that bud, and that is fine. We're going to restroke that bud once we get this skirt in here. Okay, let me side load just a little more white. A little more. Work that in. All right, so now I'm going to come from the opposite direction. All right, and so it's always a good idea to turn your paper so you can see. But I'm going to butt right up against this side of the bud now and wiggle around that side, okay? So it's important when I do this that you can see those dark shades coming out from underneath the second layer that we put in with the first one. Pick up fresh paint, all right? And then I'm going to come overlap the strokes and finish up these last few petals. Now, it's a good idea if you come from left and right, so I'm going to turn and we're going to come from right here and finish that up. There we go. Okay, so looking at it now, you can see I have a back layer and a front layer of my skirt. And I'm going to get more of my color. All right, so here we come. This is the last few strokes that we do in this center of the rose. So first thing we want to do is restroke that bud. That's why I said don't worry about if you go over it, because you're going to put it right back in there. See that? Now, it's important that you have not gotten muddy, right? This needs to be dark and this needs to be light for it to look right and for it to show up correctly. Okay, so I'm going to get my colors, good colors, back on my brush, and we're going to do these final strokes. All right, now before I do it over here, I'm going to show you what they look like. All right, so here's a bud. Let me put a bud right here. All right, we make that circle in the top, and you're going to see it's good if you can push some of that dark up there. Let's do that over again, like that, and that. There we go. Now we've got good depth, okay? All right, so now we want to make sure we've got nice light color on this edge, and then it's 2/3 of the dark. So you come right up against the side of this bud right here, okay? And I'm kind of in a shadow, so I'm going to see if I can back my hand up a bit and not be so shadowed. All right, so it butts right up against it. It doesn't go past it, and there's no gap. And it's not higher or lower. It's at the same height as this stroke was that we finished on the bud. Now, we're going to keep your handle straight up and down. This is where it creates that shadow. So let me see if I can get it up here. There we go. All right, so handle is straight up and down. You're going to twist the brush with your fingers to bring the top edge of the brush around. And as you do that, you're going to tip the handle towards the light pink edge slightly to lift the dark colored bristles from the brush, okay? So you're twisting and tipping to lift, and then you're going to slide through with those last few bristles. Your handle is tipped forward, so it's no longer straight up and down, it's tipped forward slightly. Okay, so you're creating that cupping by this petal around that bud. All right, so on the other side, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to butt right up against it, just like this. Right, you're going to twist that light edge out, lift, tip forward on the tip forward the hand, tip the handle forward towards the light edge, and drag the light bristles through. Okay, it's okay if this dark, these little blops down here happen, because it's all dark in there anyways. Okay, and then you have a final stroke that comes through, and this is a slice. All right, these were kind of wings, and then this one is a slice. You come at it at an angle like this. All right, where the dark corner is in the bottom of the bud and the light corner is angled up towards the outer edge of this petal right here. And you're going to slide across the bottom edge of the bud, and as you do, you're going to tip that handle towards the light pink again and drag the light pink bristles. Okay, so those are the 3 strokes that finish off that center. But this is why you need the dark, because notice as that was stroked, now it looks like you're looking down into the center of the flower, and you've got all that depth in there, letting the petals look like they're folding out and over. Okay, and this will be dark back in there, so this gap won't be here white. Okay, so that's why I wanted the flower to show you as well. All right, so coming back, getting my brush loaded, we're going to add it to this bud right here. Okay, so I'm back up at the top where the stroke ended, right where the bud stroke ended, and I'm going to swing out on that light pink, tilt towards that edge, and slide through with the light pink. Okay, the next one's going to come underneath that one. They don't touch and they don't meet in the middle. Okay, so the next one comes from the other side. I'm trying to make sure my hand's not covering. You're going to swing out on that light pink, lift the dark, and slice through underneath the first one. Okay, so what you don't want to have is you don't want to push it up. It should just swing out, swing out. It doesn't push up and it doesn't come down. Okay, and then your last stroke is going to come at, remember I said the bottom corner of the brush sits in the center of the bottom of the bud, and the top corner is just below the edge of this stroke right here. And you're going to slice through, lift the dark pink edge, and drag the light pink across. All right, now you want to try to avoid having this stacked look right here. Okay, so you don't want to be doing too much of this, but if you've got room right here where it looks like there's you know, a void where there should be a petal, you can come right in here and add another one, a little bit larger than the last one. All right, so that it looks like it's opening out into that second skirt. Okay, so hopefully that helps you. I'm going to break these down one more time, but I'm going to also share something with you. That is, have you heard of an angle brush? I'm sure a lot of you have. All right, and in Donna's signature set, there is a 5/8 inch angle. That works better size-wise with a 16 flat. Okay, you'll need the 3/4 angle to do a 3/4 inch flat equivalent for the stroke. Okay, but let me share with you a couple of things using those angle brushes. So this is the flat, right? Let me get the colors back on here. All right, so this is, you've got your bud lines here and here. Okay, we're going to do those strokes on the sides, the ears or the wings, if you will. You're going to swing out on the light pink, tilt towards the light pink, lift the dark bristles, and slide through, not all the way across. Okay, on the other side, you're going to do the same thing. Try not to have my hand in the way. Swing, lift, slide through below the first one. Okay, the last one is that slice. You're going to come at this angle, slide underneath it, lift the dark, and slice the light pink through. Okay, so those are the 3 strokes broken down. Now, when you're working with an angle, the most challenging part about this stroke is, for many, is lifting that dark and letting just the light edge come through, right? We're so used to being up on that, staying on that chisel, that tilting that hand forward, especially when you're bringing it around, can be a challenge if you want to get those bristles out of the way. So you can try it with an angle brush, okay? So I'm going to now load an angle brush with those same colors. So this is the thing, with an angle brush you have a toe, which is the longer part of the bristles, and the heel, which is the shorter part, okay? So the toe is the part that you want to come through. The heel naturally lifts away when you're on the chisel edge. See how it does not touch, right? When you're on the chisel on this, like, your handle is at an angle. See how my brush is at an angle to my hand? When I stand my brush up straight, I'm on the toe and my heel does not touch. And that's what allows you to get those nice little fine lines of light color and not worry about having to get that dark color out of the way, because it does it automatically. All right, so I'm going to grab dark and light, and I'm going to come over here and load this angle brush with the same colors. Okay, so 2/3 of the dark, 1/3 of the light. All right, and then I'm going to grab the white on that tip just to brighten up that pink a little bit. More dark. Okay, so there we've got a good load on the brush. All right, and so these are those same strokes, but with the angle brush, and how much easier it is. So you can start on the chisel edge like this, and when you swing out on that light color and straighten your handle, the heel automatically gets out of the way, and you bring that toe through. You get that nice streak of light color, okay? On this side, same thing. You're going to swing out, come below, and it automatically gets out of the way. Okay, over here, all you have to do is straighten your handle up and it lifts that toe right out of the way. And look how nice it makes that stroke. Okay, so have an angle brush available is wonderful for getting this to look better. You can even do the bud with it. It's tough to do the petals. It can be done. It's just a little bit different looking stroke, but you can do it. You just have to kind of tilt your brush handle a little more than we're used to, okay? All right, so when you're doing this stroke right in here, you swing that, and automatically as you slide through with the handle straight, it's going to lift that right out of the way. See there? And slice through. Okay guys, so I hope that helped you. If you don't have an angle brush, they do sell them at onestroke.com. They sell them in sets of 3 with the 3 different sizes. I think it's 3/8, 5/8, and 3/4. And then there's also the 5/8 in her signature set, and I think you can even get them individually. Okay, so the 3/4 one works with the 3/4 flat, and the 5/8 works best size-wise to compare for stroking with the 16 flat. Okay.